Hey, what's up, Leron here. Today I'm going to paint this scene, but wait, there's a catch. I'm going to be using 3 different art supplies, so pencils, pen and ink, and watercolor. Now, if I want to use the same one, I have to keep contact with the paper. As soon as I lift up the pencil, pen, or brush, I need to go to the next art supply, and I'm going to be alternating between them. Now, before we get to it, be sure to check out the frustration-free watercolor course once the video ends. If you're struggling with watercolor, you want to learn how to let go, enjoy the painting process, get the results you want, but most importantly, be satisfied with your painting process. Be sure to check that out once the video ends. But without further ado, I don't know exactly what's going to happen in this challenge. Let's get to it. Okay, so here we are. Wish me luck. Now, just to make it more interesting, I'm not going to do the entire sketch right out the gate. Now, I touched the paper, so I cannot lift the pencil off it, because that'll be cheating. Cheating the challenge. So let's do this kind of a thing here. I made a mistake. It's too bad. Then let's do this. Let's do that. I'm gonna stop here. Lifted it off the paper, so I need to move back. Now, you know what? Let's make it. Okay, I'm gonna move into watercolor now. So, what's interesting is I'm using a smooth hot press paper. The only reason I'm doing that is so that my my pen and ink can actually perform, because otherwise it's way too difficult. The surface really kills the tip of the pen, so you want to make sure to use hot press if you're planning on inking and you don't want to destroy the tip of your pen. Now, I'm gonna mix a lot because, you know, I have to get this wash done in one go. I cannot lift my brush off the paper. Once it touches, let's go with a bit of red in there and a bit of yellow, just a bit, just a touch. Make the blue maybe a little more rich. Now, obviously, I didn't draw the whole thing, so here goes. Let's get this party started for real. So I cannot take a refill, remember. So if I just want to take a break, I'll probably have to stop the wash somewhere and hope for the best. So here we go. You know, that's the sky. And I think, so let's get all the way up there. We're good. That's a nice start. So I'm gonna actually be quite boring here. I do see this dark area, so I'm just gonna fill that up. I'm using an interesting kind of tool. It's sort of a pen brush, which is a tool I like quite a bit. Allows for a lot of freedom in how you do the lines, how you draw them, and so on. So I'm gonna do this and let it go. Now I'm gonna cheat a little. Not really cheating, but I want to help this ink move. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I want to help it move. And for that purpose, I'm probably gonna be needing to work fast. So I'm stopping with the pencil. Didn't do much, but I do want to use this opportunity. Colors really don't matter. Don't ask me what colors I'm using, they don't matter. And let's see what we can achieve here. So I'm gonna put this little shape down, like so. And look at what I'm just gonna move through. I'm still touching the paper, I'm not cheating. And I'm gonna get this little... Do I have anywhere else to go, you know? My proportions are totally off, by the way, because I didn't do a proper drawing. Let's add a bit of a shadow here. I mean, why not? Why not? Oops, I lifted it off the paper to check if I'm recording, so that means back to the pencil. Back to the pencil for me. Let's do this. Okay, let's get some of these kind of overarching lines and shadows, like so. Goes down here. We have this nice little, I don't know what that is, the system for what do you call that thing, for public service announcements. And then let's do this. Come through here, move down here all the way. Look at this. Go back up. I should hold on to my pencil a little differently. Honestly, I'm not doing the best job I can. by doing this, but that's okay. I'm gonna fix it next time. Now, what I'm recognizing is a lot of warmth in the upper parts of the shadows, and then more of a coolness down below. So let's get it done. Let's do this. Warm. Oops, I lifted. Pen, right? I'm not wrong. Should be a pen now. So let's do this. Pen. I should have written the order down. Ooh, again, I'm holding the pencil all wrong. We'll let that one slide. Here we go. Self-imposed limitations, everyone. Self-imposed limitations for the win. Now, obviously, I'm kidding, right? I'm not for self-imposed limitations. I'm just for the fun that it may bring. Diagonal shadow going through here. Oh, okay, we're done. And I'm gonna use this kind of cool mix, and hopefully things are gonna merge here with the previously warm kind of colors. Now, of course, I skipped a whole bunch of details, right? So, you know what? Let's travel across this line and put some coolness here. So I want this to be more of the focal point. So I will probably get some line work in here, like so. Just to hint that this might be a focal point, you know? So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna put in a bit of a shadow. Now I'm holding it. Finally, I'm holding it properly. Something like that. Let's actually move on to this entire thing. Now, let's get this out of the way. Of course, the entire building is kind of warm. So I'm just going to paint it and hope for the best. So warm, except for the sky that peeks through here. Lesson for next time, maybe be a little more careful. Now, that's watercolor, right? So pen, pencil, and back to watercolor. I have to cheat here. I have to cheat here to get the colors out on time. So do this. Let's just go over the whole thing and we'll warm it up. What shall I use my watercolor time now? I know exactly the thing. So I'm gonna put this kind of a warm shadow like so. And that's gonna go into the windows here as well. I'm gonna use the pen to lift back where I might have put too much. Now I'm gonna travel across here, and maybe let's get some once again. Now I'm gonna let it dry for a few seconds because I need something to work with, and then we'll continue. Okay, so the last thing I did was watercolor. Let's go back to the pen, and I actually recognize here. So let's try and be a little more careful and thoughtful. This area that I kind of missed earlier, and actually recognize there's a bit of a bump like so. So let's do this. Let's add some foliage. And let's see if we can get away with establishing some shadows here. I'm gonna now start establishing the actual shadows because so far it's been mostly about the almost like what you'd expect a first wash to look like. I'm gonna travel across here and establish that same kind of warmth on the upper part of the arch. I do want to bring out this kind of an arch here and the diagonal shadow. There we go. And we'll pick up where we left with, but it has to be visible. It has to be a little darker, right? And again, the goal of this weird thing is just to make an interesting process. Actually, maybe just for you to watch, you know. And I think it's a nice way to almost make things a little more interesting for yourself. I want to strengthen the sky. Let's do that. Let's start the same way, actually. And hope that there's enough paint. Now, what you're going to see happen, and this is something you often see in my processes, as soon as you darken the sky, the building and the walls and everything starts to look more like it should because the contrast appears. So the walls that are meant to appear light actually start to appear light because there's something darker to compare them to. There we go. So you see it brought it out a little. Pencil, make yourself useful, maybe by adding a bit of texture to the wall. Meaning I'm gonna show a few of the bricks. There we go. And I can go back to watercolor and do some wet and wet darkening. And here we go with some wet and wet. I worked fast enough. The one area we still haven't used any and we kind of neglected, it's going to be the trees. So let's mix a green. Now, how do you mix a green? You just use yellow, blue, whatever you get, you get. If you want to neutralize it a bit, you add a bit of red to neutralize the mix. Now, I'm going to go over the tree as well. And start darkening. Now, I know this looks fairly dark. It's actually not that. Don't lift the brush off paper, or I'll have to move on to the next one. There we go. I do notice there's a bit more of a darker warmth here. I'm going to get that in a second. Let's actually indicate that. So this is going to go from the corner down here. I'm going to be putting the warmth, and you see a couple of bricks that show a bit of texture there. So I'm going to... This is a gentle shadow, actually. So I need it quite light. I think this will do. If anything, I erred on the side of a little too dark. That's fine. There we go. And I'm actually getting close to calling this one done. Now, what I'm missing a bit of structure in is this area right here, with this wobbly line that I got from earlier. So let's fix that. It's funny how I'm so accustomed to watercolor that it's now, I feel like it's the one thing that I'm trying to do most of the work with, and I'm really challenging myself to find uses for the rest of the supplies, you know. We're going to add a patch of blue sky showing through the tower, and it's gonna happen right around here. So now it feels like we're seeing at least some of the sky there. So I'll probably make the orange a little stronger, actually. Almost like using it opaquely. Just need to be careful because the paint is going to spill very easily. So now with just this brush mark, we kind of have a motif to work with, right? The orange and blue, we in one go kind of created a main idea for the painting. So I have some other pencils. Let's try and see what happens. Can I get across to be a little lighter using that? Because it is light against the sky. Actually, that works. And then I can use it also to bring in a bit of a highlight under the roof. And that looks okay, I think. You know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to add some more visible texture. So I am seeing some of these bricks. And that's going to help us with the building's perspective and shape and all of that. Now I can't lift, so I have to be a little clever in the way I use the brush. One of the limitations. Then this goes that direction. Then this goes that direction. Hopefully you can see well. And I think after that, I'm going to call this one done, by the way. I'm going to cool down this wall and use it as an opportunity to smear a bit of that strong pen that I put. I actually need a lot of paint. And it will help some of this rough pen ink lines to kind of loosen up. I'm going to organize my area here. That's where the sky should come. This line annoys me to no end. And I have to. So let's switch to a larger brush. I don't think I have a choice here. I need a lot of actually bright blue to get this washed down. I don't have much choice. So let's see. Because the sky is much stronger than I got it. This highlight working decisively. I just lifted a few times. Oh man, I messed it up. Okay. I completely forgot and messed it up. You'll forgive me. It's my challenge. I can do whatever I want. 10. Pencil. This is so funny. Following that, by the way, this shows you why having too many rules in general, because some people have a lot of rules for how they make art, is ridiculous. Now we're using it as a fun kind of challenge, right? But imagine having these, and we all probably have a bunch of rules that don't really serve us. So that's another interesting thing we may be able to glean from this. And I think we should be good now. I know it looks super dark. We're gonna let it dry, but this is probably gonna fall into place after this. Well, we are done. Would I be able to paint something like this if I just followed the normal process? Probably not. So here it is, we're done in its full glory, and there isn't really anything specific I would want you to take from this video. If anything, it's more about maybe looking at what it makes you feel. Do you feel maybe inspired to try something? And if it is, then it's something that may be worth following. And if it isn't, there's nothing wrong with that. And you do the things that you do. It doesn't really matter to me. You know, the most important thing is for everyone to do their own thing and maybe discover their own way. One more thing to take away from this, maybe, I guess, to me at least, that's what I think about, you know. It's okay if you don't relate, but to me, when I look at these self-imposed rules for this constrained challenge, I'm thinking, okay, what other rules do I have in my life that are just self-imposed? They aren't really true, so to speak. They don't really serve a good long-term purpose in my life. So maybe that's another thing to ponder upon. Now, I will mention once again, if you're struggling with letting go in watercolor, if you feel like your paintings are tight, you just can't get the watercolor to work and do its thing, check out the Frustration-Free Watercolor course. It's meant specifically to solve that problem of just allowing getting out of the way and allowing the paint to do its thing with very minimal techniques as well. You know, all the most important things, in my opinion, are there. But other than that, I'm not trying to impose anything. It's more about that switch that may be flipped of, oh, that's how I get out of the way of my own paintings. So basically it. Thank you so much. Let me know in a comment down below. Will you be trying this? That's the question. Did it inspire you to try something? And if it didn't, that is perfectly okay. I actually prefer the truth. So let me know. And thank you so much to everyone who supports me on Patreon. Could not thank you enough. Really do appreciate it. Check it out if you want to get credits again at the end of the videos. And I will see you in the next one real soon.